It took me 3 days to get this big one. I'm glad I caught it because these mice, they will just eat up your fruits and vegetables that you grow. Ladies, if you want to start a family and set up house and whatever, get married to a good man first, then set up house and kids and whatever, because otherwise you will find instances where you're going to expect society to come jump in and fill a gap. Hey folks, this big mouse next to the little mouse are two mice, not a rat, but two mice I've caught in my greenhouse. This big one is maybe the biggest mouse I've ever seen in person, real mouse. It took me 3 days to get this big one. For 3 days, I'd be in my greenhouse each day, go in there, and this one would be walking around there out of reach, walking around where I couldn't like throw something and hit it, almost like it wasn't scared of me. And I just got to the point where I start putting out traps and putting out more traps. I got up to like 8 traps. Not sure how this trap here killed it. It wasn't in the trap when I retrieved it out of the greenhouse, but it was right next to a couple of traps I had set in there that were triggered. And I'm glad I caught it because these mice, they will just eat up your fruits and vegetables that you grow. I noticed something was digging up my seedlings, seeds that had germinated. Let's see, I think they were zucchini seeds that were germinated, and I think it might have dug up some of those and maybe some of the other seedlings. But in any case, why am I showing you this? Well, I'm going to make a point here. There's stuff here because we're right next to the forest. There's stuff even much bigger than this that will come in and eat fruit or try to eat fruit, steal fruit. Animals, I'm talking about, forest animals, kill chickens. I've had to deal with some time ago a bobcat that came in and killed a couple of my prize Rhode Island red chickens quite some years ago, before I got electrified netting. You have raccoon, before I redid my pen structure years ago, just came through and slaughtered about 6 chickens. Not so much bears. In the next town over, there was maybe a couple years ago a sighting of a young bear. But here's the point I'm getting to. Ladies, when you got a good husband on the scene, there's oftentimes things that will come and threaten your produce and your animals that you won't have to deal with because you got a good husband. And this is not just for out in rural, places that a good husband is good for, protecting things, but and keeping, things from just overrunning animals and stuff, overrunning your produce, eating your produce, killing your animals, your livestock. But even in the city, I used to have investment property. One of the properties I had was in Oakland, California. Most of the renters that I had were married couples, and never in any instance those years did I recall those ladies who had husbands call me to deal with animals and that kind of stuff. But there was a tenant I had who was a single lady who had, I believe, started having kids out of wedlock, and she wanted to move out of the place she was in, a duplex, into a bigger place for her and the kids. The government was paying 100% of her rent, so there wasn't. That was locked down, and I think the government was also paying for her to go to school. But I don't advise having kids out of wedlock, even if the government gives you money. But here's the deal. One day she calls me all frantic or upset because there is a raccoon outside in the backyard, And I guess she was expecting me to drive from where I was living as a landlord and come deal with a raccoon outside. Come on now. Ladies, if you're gonna get out there and strike out there on your own, don't look for your landlord to be your husband. That's husband stuff, to go outside and deal with a raccoon outside in the backyard. Even in the city, that's not landlord stuff. So here's what I want to say, ladies: if you want to start a family and set up house and whatever, get married to a good man first, then set up house and kids and whatever, because otherwise you will find instances where you're going to expect society to come jump in and fill a gap. And I understand situations where somebody may be a widow or something like that. No, but this is a case which is too often happening in our society here in America, where as a young lady, she decided to get out there and do her thing and start having kids, and I think she had 3 kids out of wedlock, and then want to be on her own, want to rent a house. Okay, all right, but hey, mistakes and decisions that she made, now she's expecting the landlord to come in and fill the gap. Ladies, you can't start, or you can try, and some do try to borrow somebody else's husband to fill in the gap for bad mistakes that you've made. Maybe the best thing for her to do would maybe go back home and work things out with the parents, and humble herself and abide by their rules and so forth and so on. But in any case, marriage first, then setting up the house and the kids and all that. All right, till later. Bye-bye.